to improve on?
Again, I thought defensively our physicality was there. It looked like five guys were on a string defensively. Our transition defense, which hadn't been good, was really good. And our ability to contest and finish the play was really good. And then offensively, we played with pace. Our spacing was good. And our decisions were quick. And when we hit that paint, we played off of 2 feet, which limits the amount of turnovers that we had when we get down there.
Do you feel like you guys have maybe found a place where you can put that in a bottle and carry it with you wherever you go now, or is that like a one-day thing? How do you make sure that it's...
No, that's the way we want to play, and that's the way that we keep teaching as coaches, striving as players to play in terms of heading that direction all the time, But, to say it's going to be put in a bottle and that's what's going to happen every time we hop out on the floor, it's hard because you're human, and it's what a long season's about. It's continuing to get better and coach and teach and learn and grow. But that is definitely how we want to play on both ends of the floor.
Mike, Philly, in the first 2 games this year, that explosive backcourt, Maxey, Guerschon, they could be a lot to deal with. What have you guys learned from those first 2 matchups, and how do you slow down 2 young, athletic, explosive guards like that?
It's going to take a team effort, so we have to be on point with our team defense. It can't just be one guy stopping those guys, because that's impossible for anybody to do. I don't care how good you are as an individual defender with the amount of space that teams are able to create, and how tricky those guys and everybody else is when it comes to one-on-one situation in terms of drawing fouls and stuff like that. Our team defense has to be on point throughout the course of the game.
It seems like sometimes now, the rise of those 2 guys, we kind of forget about Embiid, from MVP. And he's obviously been playing well recently. And how much, more dangerous does he make them when he's fully healthy and operating, at his best?
They're a good basketball team. You're talking about Embiid, Paul George, those 2 young guys, and then they have length and scoring coming off the bench too. So Embiid's a Hall of Famer. He's an all-star, and he knows all the tricks of the trade. He can beat you shooting a 3 because he's got great touch. He can beat you from the free throw line. He's getting there 8 times a game, so we have to make sure we continue to lead with our chest and show our hands. And then obviously he can beat you in the post. So we have to be on point and not try to give him any easies, especially sending him to the free throw line, knowing that he's great at drawing fouls.
So, Mike, when you talk about the offense and how important quick decision-making is in that, what do you do to facilitate that? Or is that just people knowing the offense and knowing their teammates, or knowing how they work in the offense? Or what makes people make a quick decision, or just you tell them to make a quick decision?
Well, the first thing is spacing has to be right, because if your spacing is not right, you can make a quick decision, but you're going to run into your teammates. You got no place to go with it. So the spacing has to be right for us, and our guys know the different spots on the floor that we can see, that we need to be in order to have the best optimal spacing for the group. And then beyond that, little things like on-time, on-target passes. So if I'm driving the basketball and I kick it to you, if the ball goes above your head, now you got to go up and grab it here and then bring it down to get in the triple threat position to be able to pass, dribble, or shoot. And so I'm not putting you in position to make a quick decision. And then, just getting ball reversals and paint touches, because the more you can reverse the ball, which is shift the defense, or the more you can attack the paint, again, shifting the defense like this, and you can move it, now making those quick decisions when somebody closes out to shoot it. If they close out too hard, maybe shot fake and drive it. Or when he closes out, maybe a second guy thinks he's supposed to close out to you, now you pass it. And so those things have to all be aligned to help make those quick decisions.
How far in advance, how far down the road do you look on the schedule? Do you only look at what the next game is? Do you look at maybe a week from now?
No, just the next game. I don't even know who we play after Philly. I know we have Sunday off, but I don't know who we play. I know we play. I don't know who we play Monday.
Okay. Some people like to look further down
Tuesday?
the road.
Okay, I don't know who we.
like this now?
Yes.
I mean, just from the schedule standpoint, if you do happen to look further down, but the games get tougher, right? Significantly tougher as you get into February, coming out the All-Star break, March. Is it important for you guys to kind of hit your stride now, knowing that the games are going to get tougher and more consequential as you get further down the road of the season?
Yeah, I don't look at it that way. I just think, you know, you try to lay a foundation beginning of the year, and then you fight. You do what you can to correct whatever you need to during this time of the year. Then you got the break, and hopefully, you know, you come out of break and you start to do this more than take steps backwards. But you know, I couldn't tell you who our opponents are. Every team is, in my opinion, really good. You know, I mean, if you sleep on any, like I think last night, I know I looked at the score at one time, but Charlotte was up 20 on Orlando, in Orlando. You know, and I don't know what the final score was, but it's like, oh wow, you know. So anybody can beat you on any given night. I think teams have gotten a lot better.
You know, you talk about pace and spacing and stuff like that. Obviously, you know, you talked a lot about, you know, sprinting to the corners, you know, setting back screens, all that kind of stuff. Did that, you know, it's hard to find metrics on that sometimes, but you know, during, you know, before I guess the Brooklyn game, when, you know, there were a couple losses in a row, you know, was that at the place that you thought it should be, or is that kind of like slid a little bit from?
No, our pace has slid, you know, and I mean it's easy to measure, because what you do is you break the shot clock up in different categories. Whether you want to say the first, you know, 24 to 20, what's your points per possession if you get a shot up then, or 20, and then you maybe 20 to 16 and 16 to 12, however you want to break it up. But you know, when we break it up, we see that we're not getting as many attempts earlier in the shot clock, which means our pace isn't quite there. And it can be quite there for a couple of different reasons. We're not inbounding the ball quick enough. We're not creating enough misses to get it off the rim. You know, we're walking it up. We're not sprinting to the corners to create the space. So there are a lot of different factors that could cause us to be a little slower.
You talked about, especially at the beginning of the season, Cat having the steepest learning curve out of everybody. Where would you say he is now in terms of understanding?
He's getting more comfortable, but also too, I've had to make some adjustments to help him out and make it a little easier for him, which I've done.
What kind of adjustments?
I mean, you know, I don't want to tell you, but it's, you know, it's in the different play calls and stuff and actions that we do, but I don't want to specifically say. No, okay. I mean, they can. People can watch on film, but I don't want to help them with their job. You know, but we've made adjustments to try to make it a little easier for him, and to try to put him in positions that will help him get into stuff quicker.
Just, you know, with Yabusele, you know, he's been kind of in and out of the rotation. You know, the trade deadline coming up, obviously it's not your decision, but you know, what have you made of him lately, or you know, what does he have to do sort of to either get back in the rotation, or you know, why is he sort of maybe in and out at times?
Well, the first thing is, you know, when we're healthy, it's a little tough, because the reality of it is right now, our top 8 guys are our starters: Mitch, Landry, and Deuce. And if you take those 8 guys, you know, I have a threshold of maximum minutes that I like to try to play guys during the regular season. With those 8 guys, I can't even a lot of times meet the minutes for them, because there's just not enough minutes there. And so sometimes to factor in, you know, a 9th and or a 10th guy can make it tough. But those guys that may not be in the top 8, top 9, because sometimes it's, you know, you might be able to get a 9th guy, and they just have to stay ready. And a lot of times that 9th guy, when he does play, it's based on matchups. You know, like teams play 4 guards right now in a center, and if there's 4 quick guards out there, it may be easier to play Jordan than Yabu. And if they're 4th guy or their power forward is a true power forward, it's going to be easier to play Yabu instead of Jordan.